Yo, 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 what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, the franchise player, Double B Bad Blood, joined by the man below, Mr. Shane, and a special guest, your boy, Throwback. What is up, boys? It has been a crazy day for AEW
It's been,
Rampage.
yeah, and it's also been a crazy couple of weeks here too. So I mean, AEW always does a really good job with their shows. So it's
Yes,
watching Rampage was really interesting.
It's a lot easier than sitting through 3 hours of Raw. Trust and believe that, ladies and gentlemen.
longest 3 hours of your life that you're never gonna get back.
Exactly. I'm like, those 3 hours, I aged like 5 years every freaking time. I tell you, it's just, oh my god. Anyway, so let's talk about some interesting stuff. I mean,
Interesting.
yeah, I mean, we started the show off tonight with the Lucha Bros versus FTR for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Three interesting things happened in this match for me. One, I seen Tully Blanchard get physical. I've been
By
dying for
Ray
Tully to
Phoenix
get physical. Twice tonight he got physical.
twice.
Secondly, Dash. I mean, Dash's mullet is getting out of control, man.
You need a haircut.
It's getting out of control. I mean, they're starting to look like the old school Midnight Express for real. I mean, not only do they have that bomb ass beat by Mikey Ruckus, but I mean, they got the robes. They got the funny, in my opinion, the funniest looking tag team belts in all professional wrestling. The AAA tag team titles,
Triple R.
but they are the FTR tag team titles because they put a big FTR sticker over the top of it, which is even funnier.
I didn't even notice that. I gotta look
How
at
do you
that
not
again.
notice it, dude?
It's just like I didn't even notice it, even though that they did that.
Oh my god. So throwback. What is your thoughts, man, on this match?
FTR always does a banger. Lucha Bros are always great. So it was going to be another one of those series of classics that they've been having so far. I I'm always a fan of FTR, especially going back to WWE days. So, them doing what they do is, you know, basically typical tag team wrestling the way it's supposed to be. And it gets you invested. And it for me, looking, because I watch AEW as from afar a lot of the time, because Wednesdays, I'm running around doing stuff. Especially since I have a lot of time on my hands, like we've talked about off the air,
Yeah,
because of
exactly.
why. Um, it's become more and more for me interesting watching more of the AEW stuff, but seeing, FTR on there and, the Lucha Bros, that match was just like one of those things that just gets you invested right off the bat. And it was the right choice to actually have it as the first show and the
Yes.
first match on the show because it literally gripped you before what everybody was anticipating halfway through the show, anyways.
And the one thing about like AEW is they put the first match. They come out the gate with Rampage. I mean, it's an hour show. That's the best thing about this. It's an hour. It's a hotly anticipated hour. Like you get your matches, boom, 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 boom. They're going. Fans love that. Fans don't like coming out and listening to a 45-minute promo.
Like every night on Raw. Just
Getting tired, listen to a
like
promo,
this.
by the second or third segment, there's a match. Here it's strictly like right from the gate, wrestling, excitement, boom, right out the door. That's one of the things that people love about AEW. Not the fact that it's not sports entertainment, that it is actually
They
professional
can hear
wrestling.
you.
But
Yeah.
you guys can hear me?
No, but my girlson's in the background. I'm like, they can hear
Oh,
you.
oh, okay. Oh, I'm like, you can't hear me. I'm like, oh, okay.
No.
But yeah,
And the thing is that AEW only starts promos when it's absolutely necessary, and not every show. Like the whole Brian Danielson and Hangman promo, they started out when it's absolutely necessary, and not every show. That's one reason why I like AEW.
well, it starts out that way because it wants to get the crowd going, and
Yeah,
and you got to think about it like this too. Um, with WWE, they have matches, and then they do they do a taping. They do a long taping. It's like 6 or 7 hours, literally all day long. Um, and it's crazy. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I love going to tapings because when you go to a taping and you watch the show, you get all excited. You get to go home and tell people, "Hey, guess what I got to see?" Um, but the thing is,
Before the internet was real and all this
exactly,
stuff, yes.
yeah. Now it's like people are live tweeting other shows. Like our good guy, our good buddy Chemical Julian was live tweeting through the SmackDown show tonight. I'm not gonna throw any spoilers out there just in case anyone wants to know what happened. But Lucha Bros, for me, Phoenix is just fucking phenomenal, man. I
Yes,
mean
yes.
that run across the top rope, and then he kicked Dash in the face, jumped on the top rope, and hit Dawson. Like I'm sorry. I went back to the
Yeah.
WWE days of those guys. Dax and Cash, whatever.
Well, isn't this their last tag match, or do you think they're gonna have more?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Our boy right here. Hello, fellas. Gotta say, yep. I gotta say, Hook. We'll get to Hook. Don't worry. We'll get to
Hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sent Hook tonight. Trust me. But Lucha Bros defending the AEW World Tag Team belts against FTR. Another hotly contested match. Great. The winners of that match, of course, were the Lucha Bros. But it was a very interesting match, and I really do hope that this closes the door on that feud because Jesus Christ, man. AEW is not one of those people, not one of those companies that continuously does rematches over and over again.
So or 50-50 to death too.
Yeah, exactly. No 50-50. All right, so the next matchup was one that I was very interested in. So 6-woman tag team match. We're talking Nyla Rose, the Bunny, and Penelope Ford versus Tay Conti, Anna Jay, and Ruby Soho. And the only thing that popped into my head when this match started was surprise, bitch. And
surprise.
Funniest thing, when Nyla Rose did that, I went and tweeted her. I'm like, damn, that was the funniest shit I've ever seen. Her response back was surprise. Shane, what were your thoughts on the 6-person tag team match?
I really liked that. Really liked how it really just set up for Nyla and Ruby Soho in the TBS Women's Title Eliminator Tournament, and I think I'm gonna go with Ruby Soho going over Nyla over that tournament.
Hey man, we're not doing predictions right now, Slick. Calm yourself.
Never.
That's another show. Calm yourself, buddy.
That's
another show. We'll get to that this week. Don't worry. Next week. Don't worry about that.
Next week.
Maybe we'll invite you. Who knows?
Okay.
Maybe we will. What about you, Mr. Throwback? What do you think about that?
I think it was an interesting match overall, just because of the fact that the combinations of the styles between all of them. Obviously, Ruby Soho is, from a lot of people, like the casual fan like me, for the most part, is familiar with the WWE stuff. So a lot of the moving parts, Tay Conti, I'm familiar with, Penelope Ford and stuff. Nyla Rose, I'm starting to get interested in seeing more and more. But it just basically was a 6-person tag match that set up that semifinal match to give people more into it. So, like, people, for a good example, if you were watching like Seinfeld and Friends was on back in the day, this was kind of one of those things they were trying to do to set up to move on to the next part. With that TBS title matches coming up, the semifinals, both of them getting into the finals eventually, this is going to be some of the formula they might touch into, I think, because of the fact that it's going to get eyes on those two people in the semifinals. Here on Rampage, they did that with Nyla Rose and Ruby Soho, and the other ones are probably going to set up a different feud in some way, shape, or fashion as a side feud. That's fantasy booking, but that could be also the thing. But the match overall for me was really good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was such a good match. I mean, and just like our guy, the church pastor right here, just said, hey, they gave the women this week on both shows they gave a lot of time. They gave a lot of time to the women's matches, backstage segments, and they have a match that I am so excited for. because everyone knows I love Jamie Hayter, because Jamie Hayter is the prototypical prototype of professional wrestling, of women's professional wrestling. I said it. Don't at me. Well, at me. I don't care. But Ruby Soho, they're setting her up to be such a huge star here in AEW. I mean, WWE totally did not give her
They
enough.
did not.
They totally just glanced over the talent right here. But this
They gave her a
6-person
raw
match,
deal. Let's be blunt. You
Oh,
know,
yes.
she literally could have been. There were months and months when she was doing stuff with the Riot Squad, and literally you would hear them say she could be a future WWE Women's Champion
breakout
and
star.
the star,
They
all
always
this
said
stuff.
that.
But and I know I hate bringing up WWE stuff, and we're talking about Rampage, but that Liv Morgan promo hit the nail. And look at what Ruby's doing now. I mean, it's literally shows you what Liv said is basically what is going on in real life. You know, Liv lost 2 of her friends, and
Yes.
Ruby's picking up the ball in AEW, and Liv's picking up the ball where she is. You know, and it's just
Sarah
it's
Rose
phenomenal.
had a baby, so I mean, she's living her life the way she wants to live it.
Taking care of the baby.
Speaking of living life, man, you know what? Let's talk about something not wrestling related for a second. I don't know. I mean, Shane, you're young, so you probably don't know this. And I don't know, Throwback, if you remember the Monkees.
Oh yeah.
Mike from the Monkees, Mike Nesmith, died today.
Damn.
Man.
I remember being in daycare and watching. I'm 40, so I've been in daycare and watching, like, you know, I Bewitched and, you know, the Brady Bunch, and they would have the Monkees television series too and stuff like that. Yeah, I remember all those.
Yeah, that's crazy. So the winner of this match, the winners, I should say, of this match were Nyla Rose, the Bunny, and Penelope Ford. Now, the fact that Penelope Ford is winning matches on TV now, thank God, because she's actually pretty decent.
Yeah, she is.
The Bunny, look, Allie is great. She's been a great wrestler for a long time. I'm glad to see they're actually giving her something to do other than being the third wheel in that whole gimmick with the Butcher and the Blade, her husband and the Blade, you know, the Butcher, whatever, whatnot. But now, before we go to the next match, let's talk about what happened backstage, because everyone knows that next week, winter is coming, and it's going to be in the arena where Sting won his very first World Heavyweight Championship. So naturally, Tony Schiavone is backstage with Sting and Darby Allin. And as they get ready to cut this interview, out of nowhere,
FTR came and just like beat the hell out of them.
Attacks Darby and Sting backstage. And it was so funny because like they were about to give Sting the nut shot.
And then Darby just like torpedo.
Like a shot out of a cannon, just bam out of nowhere. Man, it was crazy. That's where you seen Tully get physical for the second time tonight, kicking Sting between the legs.
And he says, "One more time, Sting. One more time."
Yeah, for me though, it was one of those things with that. It's great to try them to set that up, but it literally just made it seem like it was just forced. If in certain aspects, like the kick from Tully almost seemed like with the camera angle, it was like you could actually see he was trying to botch it a little bit.
Yeah, he was. He was kicking for real.
So you could the camera work on there was very shoddy at best, but you know the attempt. You know you got to applaud him for the attempt though for doing that to set that up.
True statement. Now here's something that just popped into the comments. This may be true. Do you think Tully did all that, and when he was like, "One more time, Sting"? Do you think he mean that because Ric Flair may be coming?
Could be a possibility. I mean, Flair isn't under any contract. He's doing a lot of stuff that he wants, so it could be a possibility that he could show up there and do like a one-off or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think Tony Khan wants Ric Flair as a permanent
Nah.
I don't think he wants him as a permanent fixture in AEW. But then again, you never know. Tony Khan is a wrestling fan. You know, he grew up watching professional wrestling, so you never know. He may want that.
Didn't Tony say that Khan say he was going to be watching ROH tomorrow night and this over the weekend?
He's going to be doing work with ROH. And I mean, he's going to be helping out ROH. That's what I was told. That's what I saw online, and someone had mentioned it to me earlier today. But with that being said, like Jay Lethal, who just signed a contract with AEW, is in one half of the double main event for the championship now.
Oh yeah, because it's going to be Jonathan Gresham versus Jay Lethal, and the winner will be replacing Bandito.
Yeah, because Bandito is injured, you know. So, God, that sucks too. Bandito.
I know.
Yeah, he's man.
I bet he's devastated right now.
He's devastated. I mean, final battle. I mean, like Jonathan Gresham is probably devastated because this was supposed to be his crowning achievement, his night. You know,
right?
So, it is what it is. Let's do this real quick before we go to the thing that everybody is excited about.
Oh my God!
And believe me, Twitter was blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
Blowing up about this whole thing.
Blowing up a storm.
Day long. Hook.
Then Hook.
So before we go into Hook, let's go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with more of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast in a moment.
Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, have been taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, have been taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! All these
you want to get your hair cut, you go get your hair cut right. You head down to Big D's Barbershop. Big D's Barbershop, Vancouver, Washington's best and brightest. 1019 Main Street, Vancouver, Washington, where you can go get your hair lined up, cuts, fades, shampoos, conditions, and all the great things that go with supporting a local barbershop in a local business area. You can also reach them online at www.bigdsbarbershop.com. Go get your haircut right.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, great futures do start with the Boys and Girls Club. And man, oh man, oh man. Trending worldwide on Twitter. Your boy Hook.
Hook.
Okay, so let's just talk about Hook for 1 second. Hook's an attractive guy. Looks like a male model. He doesn't talk. He's so silent and stoic. For the last couple of weeks, Hook will come down to the ring, you know, just get up there, just a little tank top, eating chips. And I'm like, okay, he's eating chips. Big deal.
Silent tough guy.
Yeah. Look at this guy. Silent but violent? Nah,
Yep.
I don't think so. I thought he was going to be like a little wussy ass kid. And then Hook came down to the ring. Little do you know.
Has
this
his own
guy
theme song.
Came out with Action Bronson's theme song. Dude came out with Action Bronson's song, AF1 style boots. Dude was slick. Dude was slick. Reversals, transitions, strong style, and then a finisher. Red rum.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, look. Ladies and gentlemen, Hook is the shit. So tonight,
Yes.
Hook faced Fuego del Sol. Now we were talking about this offline earlier. Hook had an amazing debut match. I mean, submissions, suplexes. I mean, he's Taz's kid. You know, he looked good. He worked good. He had a swagger to him. You know what I mean? For a young guy, I mean, he reminds me of a young Brandon Gatson. I don't know if you guys know who Brandon Gatson is, but he reminds me of him. He reminds me of a young TJP. I mean, TJ is still young, but you know, a young TJP. The guy is fluid in the ring. He floated around like it was nothing. He pretty much made wrestling look like a dance. And anyone that is interested in that wrestling pretty much is a dance. The hell was that?
I don't know. But for me, with him, the way he's been going about and stuff like that, he kind of looks. The best way to look at it, he's kind of like that cool cat James Dean in the old school movies.
That's what I was trying to think.
And the thing about it is that he does have his dad's temperament, which is the
Yes.
interesting thing. So him coming out as that cool James Dean kind of thing, but also me as a video game geek, he reminds me of Sagat from Street Fighter.
That's
Just the
right.
way-
That's right.
Street Fighter.
Yeah, from just the way the gear set up and stuff like that. You know, they did mention that he had some judo in his background, amateur
was
stuff
doing-
like that.
He was doing
Just-
judo talk. He was doing judo throws left and right. Like he was so
Yes, he
fluid
was.
between wrestling, judo, and grappling. His submission style, his submission, like if he wasn't a submission wrestler, then yeah, it would have been a bad situation. When your dad is so good at submission wrestling, like I don't know. I mean, like I said, Hook has the sex appeal. Like all these women on Twitter, literally thirst trapping all day long. I've seen Hook's name more on Twitter than I've seen the Twitter logo.
Yeah.
And the other thing also is that he kind of reminds me of a younger version of Matt Riddle, kind of like that MMA
Oh.
kind of style.
I want to like Hook. I don't want to. I can't stand Matt Riddle.
No, but
Um,
I'm talking about that MMA clean style where you know,
MMA
Riddle
clean
does
style.
Yeah,
puts that in there, but Hook has that little edgy thing. If he keeps his character like this, where he doesn't speak and he goes around and just be's cool and just goes in, does what he needs to, gets out kind of idea, then
The strong silent type.
this is literally like a gold mine, like a diamond in the rough. They've already got ready to polish. Now, what they do next is all depending on which way, you know, they want to go with him. Do they want to go one way and get him up to Punk, for example? Because they were hinting at that a few months ago, a month ago,
Punk
maybe
was
2
like,
months ago.
yes, in Hook.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Or do you want to just have him squash people here and there for a while and then give him a big name, say at Double or Nothing or something like that at that point, just to build him up, and that way when it's time they can pull the trigger on something spectacular for him to put it in there and sink his teeth to and use his name for a reason. There were a lot of people on Twitter too. If you remember the movie Hook, they were using like pictures of
I
Yeah.
saw that.
you know
I saw that.
of that movie with Robin Williams.
I think I
and-
retweeted it with all of it was the old Hook the Hook poster, but
Yeah.
it had like Hook on there. It had Taz. It had in the top right hand corner. It had Will Hobbs, and in the bottom it had Ricky Starks dressed up as a pirate.
It was basically like the whole Team Taz on the Hook,
Yeah,
Hook
yeah, yeah.
poster.
It was. I mean, like I said, man, it's
Hook has a bright future.
Hook does have a bright future. But here's the thing, and I'm about to piss a lot of people off, but I'm gonna do it anyway because you know we're the healers
no.
of BodySlam.net. Hook with the submission, the Taz, the Kata Hatsume, the Taz mission. Otherwise, change the name to Red Rum, which is murder backwards. You know.
Yeah.
So he is a silent but violent type guy. You know. But here's the thing. It was Fuego del Sol.
Fuego del Sol.
Not, no, I'm not. I mean, I'm about to get a lot of heat because I said this, but it's Fuego del Sol.
He
You
had no
want
chance.
you want to call Hook? I mean, don't get me wrong. I say Hook is great. I think he has the tools and everything to be great. But do you want to test him? Put him up against a CM Punk. Fuck, put him up against Bryan
Yes.
Danielson.
Yes.
Show me. Put him up against American Dragon. Even more, put him up against Miro.
Yeah.
Miro is currently looking for someone to fight.
Put him up. You know what they're going to end up doing? It's going to be Hook versus Dante Martin,
Yeah.
or Hook versus Leo Rush, or Ricky Starks and Hook versus Dante Martin and Leo Rush. Who knows? But I'm guaranteeing you, AEW knows money. Tony Khan is a fucking genius. He knows what he's doing. He debuted Hook on the show and immediately went to Twitter with the AEW graphic, Hook is all elite. Right away. Like literally,
Right
the
away.
match happened, and 2 seconds after the match happened, we all know this was taped on Wednesday. So
Yeah.
let's just call
right
it a
after
spade a spade.
AEW.
But Tony Khan went on today, right? Like literally 30 seconds after this match was over, and was already Hook is all elite. And it's already got like 1.5 million retweets.
Shit.
hmm
Hook broke,
I'm looking at it
broke
right
Twitter.
now. Yeah. Like Hook has broke Twitter. Okay. I'm just saying it was a good match. And you know, at the end of the day, you want to see if Hook is truly, I mean, he lived up to the hype. Let's just, he lived up to the hype. He did it. He lived up to the hype.
Yes.
But let's call a spade a spade. Are you ready for, like, are you seriously and truly ready for Hook to be the guy? If you are, put him up against Miro. Put him up against Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
Put him up against CM Punk. Put him up against, put him up against, Put him up against, Wheeler Yuta. Put him up against,
Adam Cole.
Tony Nese.
Put him up at Cassidy.
Put him up.
Oh yeah, Cassidy.
Yeah. Let's do that. Put him with Darby.
Work his way up against Punk.
Or yeah, you know, with the idea possibly of Kyle O'Reilly going to AEW at some
my
point,
God.
like people are trying, have Hook when O'Reilly comes in, have Hook go against O'Reilly, and that could set up Team Taz versus, you know, the Super Click, and have them butt heads for a little while.
Shit, that would be great.
Or if you really want to get crazy, let's get crazy. Let's
Even
get
crazier?
super crazy right now. Let's get like, I'm not talking about super crazy from AAA, from WCW. Let's get some super crazy up in here right now, right? We're talking about crazy out, just 187 crazy.
Omega.
No.
Yeah.
Johnny Gargano.
That would be interesting.
Johnny
That would be a
Gargano's
really good
first match in AEW. You put him up against Hook.
Hook.
You want to test Johnny Gargano? Put him in the AEW with an established guy so far. You really want to test Hook? Put him in there.
Test him against Johnny Gargano. Yeah.
Yeah, put him with Johnny Gargano.
I honestly think, and I haven't said this yet, I think Gargano's probably going to stay put in Florida. He might do some independence around there. That's my idea, because you also got to remember, Candice is due in 2 months.
Yeah.
So he even said that the biggest, in that whole thing, he said the biggest job he has is going to be in February, as being a dad. So he's probably going to wrestle here locally in Florida and stuff like that, possibly. And I don't think if he does go to AEW, I don't think it'll probably be till late next year when, you know, Candice's contract's squared away and the baby's all baby's a little, it's going to be like the Becky situation. It's just both of them are so well financially, possibly. I don't know their situation. This is me speculating, but I think they might just hold off on being full-time wrestlers and just focus on being parents, just to situate the baby first. Not like where Seth was on the road and Becky could follow. You know, they seem like a couple that if one person does it, the other person follows suits, because of the fact that they both want to be together while they're doing this, and it makes sense, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
Also, let's think about this for a second. Okay, let's just say, for instance, Johnny Gargano does sign with AEW. It's the perfect thing for him to sign with AEW. You know why I say that? Because Tony Khan is all about family. It's not like working for Vince, where you're working and I remember this because me and Rey Mysterio Jr. are really good friends. And I remember when he got married, he literally got married on Saturday, had to leave his wedding to go to a fucking pay-per-view on Sunday.
Wow.
Then he had to wrestle on Raw on Monday. He had to do the dark match on Tuesday. And got to fly home on Wednesday to go on his honeymoon just to come back on Monday to do another Raw. Like, seriously, that's some bullshit.
And
Like, that's some bullshit
schedule.
right there.
No way.
The schedule, 265 days on. That leaves you 100 days off. And
At
those
least
100
with
days are either traveling or sporadic appearances.
no days off.
So can you think about that for a second? Like, would you really want to work 28 days a month and pray to God you fall into a month that has 31 days, and God forbid you wrestle in February, because that means you're working every fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why people get burned out. That's why you have situations like, God forbid, the situation with Jeff Hardy.
Yes.
You have situations like that, like people are just burned out. So I mean it is what it is.
Look at me working. What was it? 65 hours the previous
Exactly.
week, and look what happened to me now.
Yeah. I mean, think about that. Your body is like, hey. Sometimes I think about it. I was wrestling 3-4 days a week, and my body was just like, nah, man. One day I couldn't get up out of bed. I was like, oh God, it hurts so bad. And it's not because I've been wrestling for almost 3 decades. It's the simple fact that my body was like, yo, you need to slow down for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
need to sit down. Like, hey, you gotta see that movie. God damn it, The Eternals.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie yet. I've seen clips on it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say there's Gilgamesh is the strong Eternal, right? He's the one that like his power is like he's super strong, like literally super strong. So he will fucking like his hand will light up and he'll fucking smack the shit out of someone, right? And he's like, sit down, bitch, and just smack the shit out of someone, right? I feel like my body was like, sit down, bitch. I had to sit down. So if you ever say I got Gilgamesh, that's what I'm talking about. So that match was pretty good. And then we go to the main event of the night.
It's time for the main event.
I just gotta say this right here before we go any further. I can't stand that thing with Mark Henry.
Time for talking is over.
It's like I'm gonna do an interview between you guys. You guys are fighting. I'm gonna be like, Throwback. You and Shane are gonna have this match tonight. And you know what? The time for talking is over. Let's get to the main event. Like, you a fucking Hall of Famer, and that's what they got you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it does hype the main event though by a little bit. So.
It does
not.
No,
it didn't.
It hypes the main event. It annoys people. It annoys me. I'm annoyed.
Dude, I was like, why are you even there?
Yes, like why do you have a job there, dude? I mean, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, I'm not advocating for people to get fired or lose their careers or anything like that. But come on, man, really? Like seriously? So look, I put a tweet up tonight. I said, crazy idea. Would you guys like to see an interview series with up and coming indie wrestlers on this podcast? And it's torn. 50% says yes, 50% says not really interested.
Wow, I would say yes.
Weird. I wonder if I post it, I would have John Cena Sr. on the show this week. How many people would be okay with that?
That'd be interesting considering the fact that it's in my backyard, literally.
Well, I've had John Cena Sr. on the show before, and his favorite wrestler is not his son, which is totally funny. He totally. You know what I'm gonna do, ladies and gentlemen? I'm gonna post that. I'm gonna put that interview up on the BodySlam.net network so you guys can watch and laugh along with us because it was actually pretty funny. He's a pretty funny guy. Yeah. So the main event, we saw Adam Cole, Bebe, come out with the Super Elite and Bobby Fish. Now, is Bobby Fish part of the Super Elite, or is he just hanging out with his boy?
It could be one or the other. For me, just this whole thing with Cole in AEW not being utilized properly is just sad. Because when he came in the same day, Danielson, everybody thought, oh, great, we're going to have two amazing matches back to back. And then when they kissed, the Bucks kissed him on the cheek, it was just like, great, we're going to go the route where it's just, hey, I'm back with my buddies and I'm just going to be the goofball, but I'll be the serious one kind of thing. And it's
really going
lived
back
up
and
to
forth
that.
with it a little bit.
Yeah. With the match, though, I kind of knew the outcome because they already projected it halfway through when, they were talking about how, like, Cole has won every singles match he had since coming to AEW. And I'm like, okay, you just basically gave the ending of the match up. It's either going to be, it's going to be Yuta losing or it's going to be just a no DQ. And it was just exactly what I thought. It's not going to move the needle to anything. It's not going to push the needle. Maybe Cassidy and Cole, but
that's what they're building to. Like the whole part when he was giving Yuta the Cole the lazy kicks to the back. Yeah, I was like, so Adam Cole has always been this very serious guy.
Yes,
his promos, like Adam Cole's a great promo. His promos have been like on point. Like he is one of those guys that would get on the mic and he would go and talk and he would cut this hellacious promo, and you're like, damn, he's really serious. Like Adam Cole was like, I'm gonna take you to Benihana, and what we're gonna do at Benihana is we're gonna set a table. It's gonna have hibachi, and this guy's gonna take this big ass knife and he's gonna cut up all this food, and you're gonna sit there and you're gonna enjoy this food. And when it's over, I'm going to pay the bill. And then we're going to leave. I'm going to go home, and you're going to go home. Date's over. And I'm like, wow, I'm fucking scared now. Like, should I pay the bill? Like, do you
should
want
I
me?
let my electricity run out?
Like,
who knows?
Yeah, like, do you want me to come pick you up? Like, should I hold the door open? Like, shit, like, he's got me scared now. You know what I mean?
You want the window down or you want the window up?
And then you
look at his
AEW.
NXT stuff.
Yeah. Then he comes to AEW and he's, hanging out with the Bucks, and that's ROH stuff. And he was with the Bucks, and they did the whole Mount Rushmore gimmick. It was funny, but he was still serious. So
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, just his whole thing with Orange Cassidy, like, I like that he's branching out. I mean, worse could have, there are worse things that could have happened. He could have shaved his head bald and became a manager to Keith Lee.
but
then he wouldn't have a job.
Nope.
Yeah, totally forgot about that.
He wouldn't have a job with a bald head. That would have been even worse.
Even worse.
Cole would have a job anywhere he would go. I mean, the talent's there. I mean, it's just BS what the WWE's did with him for the most part. There's so many. If they left him to come up on his own accord and let him run Rickshaw on, let's say, Raw, matches that they had in NXT that the regular fan and that would watch Raw would be more invested into it because Cole's that type of talent. But also they do have a track record on Raw to destroying talent. I mean, Bearcat, okay, come on, man. Keith Lee is just an ultimate. Yeah, it was Keith Lee's a talent all to himself.
Yes.
I don't know, man. Sometimes they do stupid shit.
Sometimes.
Braun Breaker.
Oh, the story about Braun Breaker is that he chose his name. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a professional wrestling fan, you know anything about WWE, you know that Vince McMahon doesn't let you choose shit.
No, he chooses the names for you.
I know people who work there that were like, that did not happen. That was not true. He did not pick his own name. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, but I'm just saying, it is what it is. It is what it is. But it just seems like this. Yeah, Denise Salcedo posted on Twitter today, I'm a hooker. So many hookers today. Someone unhook me from my Twitter, please.
There's a lot of hooker fans tonight.
Yeah, everyone wants to be a hooker now.
Everyone wants to be a hooker.
I don't want to be a hooker. Yeah, it is what it is. So this main event was pretty good.
Yeah.
I love watching Adam Cole as a worker. Someone just posted the Wrestler Hook had a premiere. This match was December 8, 2021. It's the same. It's being released the same week that in 1991. Wow, that's crazy.
Wait, really?
Look, so the movie Hook had its premiere screening December 8th, 1991. And it was released worldwide a week later. Today is December 10th. 2 days ago is when they announced that Hook was making his
That's
debut.
right.
2 days later.
That's crazy.
Tony Khan, man, he is so smart. He knows. Look, I bet Tony Khan was sitting in his house one day. He's flipping through the channels. He clicked
Watching
on
the movie
USA and he
Hook.
was like, Hook. Shit. Hey, Taz, is your son ready? Well, yeah. Let's do this. Tony Khan's a genius, man.
It could also
Anyway.
be a coincidence too.
And people
Yeah.
are on Twitter just going crazy. Like, guys, Hook means the future of AEW, the new pillar. I'm officially a hooker. Dude, guys are thirst trapping for Hook.
Everybody's thirsty for Hook.
Taz
Hey, the
posted-
hype's real.
Taz
Yeah.
posted, so proud. Hook is sent. Watch the debut of Hook as he squashes Fuego del Sol on AEW
Squash.
Rampage. Always Big O. We are all hookers today. Yeah. I don't know, man.
That's
I don't
funny.
know. I don't know. I just, yeah. But in the interesting news, Soraya, aka Real Page from WWE, was trending on Twitter today above Sasha Banks, above SmackDown, above Sonya Deville, and above Xia Li. What does that tell you? She ain't had a match in WWE in like 5 years, and she
No,
over.
she had not. She's been streaming on Twitch.
No, and I have a feeling she's coming back. I think next year, because her WWE contract still is. I think it might have a renewal on there. I'm not sure.
Don't they have
But-
a freeze thing on there? Like if they haven't wrestled, they freeze the contract even when they're injured.
Well,
don't know.
I think it's mostly she does stuff for them and stuff, and WWE gave them her blessing, their blessing, I guess. I don't know how you want to call it for her Twitch stuff, but I think that she is cleared medically and kind of heading back, kind of like the Edge route. I think if she does come back, it's going to be at the Royal Rumble. And if that will make a huge pop for her, and I think that will put her directly into night one pay-per-view where she gets a title shot, because her point will be like she never lost the championship, because she was going for it again for the number one contendership when she hurt herself originally the first time, and then the second time she never got a shot at it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they give her that last one run for her, and if when her contract decides to fade out and stuff, she decides to either go to Britain and work with her parents and stuff for a little bit, or do some more stuff like AEW, or do the rounds and go from there. I mean, she makes more money doing Twitch than anything. She's literally
Yeah,
the
she
number
does.
one Twitch personality on there.
Yeah, she is.
Well, getting back to Adam Cole versus Will Yuta, it was a great match. Adam Cole obviously is the winner, and
Baby.
it kind of furthered the storyline with the best friends and the Super Elite. But I'm gonna throw a little monkey wrench in this. I don't think people really paid too much attention to it. But did you guys see when they came out of the tunnel? Yuta came out, and everyone was all excited about Yuta. And Trent just looked at him like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Oh, like he's a little bit jealous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Also, if
the
you watch
backstage thing kind of hinted at
Yeah.
that too.
the backstage thing did.
Yeah.
they were on a podcast with Barstool, and I don't know what that means, but okay. They were on a podcast with Barstool, and they were like, Yuta was there, and they were like, he's like, yeah, and it's like I shaved my head, like he's, I don't know, maybe there's, maybe the best friends aren't so best friends. I mean, I would like to see Roppongi Vice team up again. Of course, I love Rocky Romero, so I mean, even when I wrestled him as a Cuban Eagle,
Like he really did look like, who are these guys? When did this happen?
yes, he did. He had that look like, who
Yeah.
the fuck is this guy? Like he totally. I mean, I don't know. I've said some things on this podcast that I have come to fruition. That's why I'm the predictions king of this podcast group. I predicted the simple fact that Bryan Danielson was going to turn heel. I predicted the fact that Dante Martin was going to turn on Team Taz because it was so obvious.
It was very quick that he turned on it though in that battle royal. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, I mean, okay, so I was okay with the fact that he was going to turn on him for the simple fact that look how fast they signed that contract. Didn't even look at it. Just signed it. That was it. If you notice during the battle royal, weird. During the battle royal, it was I don't know. There were just too many variables there that kind of hinted towards it. And I guess I'm jaded because I've watched WWE for so long. So I'm really jaded when I see stuff like that. Like I'm like really jaded, like, okay.
Yeah, it's literally like you see the same thing over and over again,
Exactly.
and you watch AEW and expect the same result.
So you're like, I'm like, what? Oh my god!
But AEW has swerved us a lot.
What? That's not 15 roll-ups in one show? Oh my god! Whoa! What?
Right?
What?
Not roll-up.
The champion isn't getting pinned every week. Oh my god! I don't know what's going on. Like, geez.
Well, this is
Not
weird
15
dimension.
disqualifications. There's actually a clean win. Whoa! What's that? Yeah, totally get it.
One, not a forced heel turn. What is this?
Yeah, tag team partners don't break up after 1 week. Von Wagner, what? Anyway, so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it was a great night of wrestling. Throwback, tell the people where they can find you at.
We do a show every Thursday night, Wicked Crazy Pinfalls. We got a lot of crazy people that come by. And last week with me having COVID, I popped in for a few seconds and had Aaron, JMT, Anakin, JMT pop in and hold the own on the show. YouTube.com/throwback27. If you hit the Twitch more. It's twitch.tv/throwback978. Same with the Twitter handle is the same. But, it was great to have you on, man. And anytime you want to come by, you're always welcome, the open door policy.
I love supporting the podcast network, the podcasting family. Someone said something to me yesterday and it really irked me. But I realized that it was done in a somewhat never mind. Never mind. I'm all about supporting the podcast and the people that work hard every day to bring you guys news. So speaking of that, ladies and gentlemen, if you can donate to BuySlam.net to help keep the website going so we can continue to bring you a wide and entertaining variety of professional wrestling and MMA related content by going to this website, and this website right here scrolling at the bottom, www.slamchats.com. That is www.slamchats.com. Not slapjack, not slap nuts, slam chat, CHAT. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your boy, The Franchise, for Throwback. And for that guy, Shane, this has been another exciting installment of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, go like, click, and subscribe because we have some cool shit on the website, some cool shit on the YouTube channels, some cool shit on the Twitter pages. Look, I'm going to be dropping another interview.
Another interview?
We had Sonny Ono.
Nice.
We had John Cena Sr.
Like linger on that.
Yeah, exactly. John Cena Sr. The only Cena I like. I've had, a lot of interesting people online. The Right Hand of God, Sam Knight was here. We did a podcast with him. My boy Shane Taylor, who's going to be, hopefully, after he works this crazy match at Ring of Honor this weekend, final battle, him and Kenny King in a match without honor. So basically, it's going to be a hell of a street fight. Shout out to my boy Shane Taylor and Shane Taylor Promotions. Those guys are doing hard work. Shout out to my boy Top Dollar.
Top Dollar?
Yep, Top Dollar. Shout out to Top Dollar. I can do that. Also, this coming Monday, got a little special thing going on. Mission Pros, #1 student of Thunder Rosa, made her debut last week against Jade Cargill on Rampage. Janaya Kai. She will be in the house next Monday night, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you go like, click, and subscribe because, like I said, cool shit happens here on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, brought to you by BodySlam.net. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Have a great night.